There's a lot of talk in this country about the federal deficit, but if we hope to meet the moral test of our times, then I think that we're going to have to talk more about the empathy deficit, the ability to put ourselves in somebody else's shoes.
Do you know what the word empathy means?
No, I'll have to have a beginner's course on that one. Empathy, is it something like sympathy?
Empathy is to project your imagination so you actually feel what the other person is feeling.
My name's Elizabeth. Anna, Viv, and I decided to make a film that examines this empathy deficit. So, we enlisted this guy, Kurt Angfer, to help us make this film. Kurt's a key figure behind the making of such films as Bowling for Columbine, The Yes Men Fix the World, and Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead.
You know, when you guys first came to me and you talked to me about this, it was something that really spoke to me. I mean, this is really the 800-pound gorilla in the room that no one is talking about. And this is empathy that we're talking about. This is the epidemic that will really take our society down.
Now, the world today is in short supply of a number of things. Fossil fuels, everyone's heard of peak oil. Wealth. With an ongoing worldwide recession, wealth has decreased for everyone except a select few. Empathy. Now, you wouldn't normally think of empathy in this context. You can't go down the road and buy a six-pack of empathy or drill down and find an empathy layer and mine it. For something that's not a physical object, though, it's incredibly powerful. It's the basis for a functioning society. It's a precious resource so powerful it can transform lives, entire neighborhoods, and even countries. Empathy is the glue that's been keeping us from complete self-destruction.
It's empathy that makes us help other people. It's empathy that makes us moral.
Empathy is the engine that powers all the best in us.
We've needed empathy and compassion for the entire time of our species, but we need it even more now, when with the world's population burgeoning, with economic tensions rising, we really need to be able to stand in the other guy's shoes.
I think not of the rise and fall of civilizations and religions or political systems. I think of the rise and fall of empathy. Moments of mass empathic flowering and also, of course, of empathic collapse.
There's a way in which the system needs a lack of empathy in order to operate the way it does. If we had true empathy, would the people of the Western industrialized nations be able on a personal level to tolerate the fact that there are 1 billion people on this planet who live on $1.25 and less a day? Do we be able to tolerate the warfare that our countries participate in?
In 2011, we discovered a university study that confirmed rapidly declining rates of empathy, with the steepest drop-off occurring in the last 10 years. When you think about it, the evidence is all around us.
So the obvious question is, why should we care? What does this have to do with us? We have our own problems, we have jobs, we have housing, we have debt.
We have been almost trained as people to disengage our hearts from some of the brutal realities of life. The true suffering of humanity is pushed further and further to the periphery.
They don't even know what it's like to be out here. They don't even get it. They don't even care to understand it. And it's like, what do? I didn't ask for this to happen.
We realized for us to turn around this downward trajectory, we would have to make a film to save empathy. First, we're looking at the science.
Neuroscience is building an amazing ability to look at the brain in real time, to really watch the brain react to the world around it. It's because of those tools, not perfect, but good enough, that we can begin to explore the brain basis of empathy and compassion.
Next, we're going undercover to see just how bad the empathy deficit really is, starting with how we treat each other every day.
Just about to go out and spend a day in the shoes of my 81-year-old mom.
Then we're setting our sights on the big fish. We'll be looking at how empathy works inside organizations, governments, and corporations. One example is Apple. For the last few years, they've come under a lot of heat for the working conditions for their iPhone and iPad plants in China. There have been numerous suicides due to the inhumane conditions, and after a lot of attention, Apple has sworn to do something about it. But what exactly might that be?
Understanding empathy isn't as simple as swapping lives for a day or calling out people's bad behaviour.
To actually save empathy and actually create a generation of good,
we're going to need a whole army.
So that's why we went out and looked for the world's best and brightest social revolutionaries to help lead the way.
We want people to recognize that this isn't just a soft skill. It's a way of life, and it's a way of being. And through that, we become better teachers and better parents, and ultimately better adults and change makers in the world.
I really believe we're actually programmed to feel for other people. If I'm actually truly living in someone else's shoes, the way that I speak has so much more flow to it, the way I connect, the realness, that's the most important thing.
But this is only the beginning. We know there are many more trailblazers out there, and this is where you come in.
Now, this is a crowd-fueled social change film. That means together we fund it, film it, spread it to the world, and help erase the empathy deficit.
And hopefully create some of the social changes we'd like to see in the world as well. So by supporting the Kickstarter campaign, you'll automatically become one of the global team of executive producers. You'll also be helping us create a unique online platform for storytellers from across the planet to actually participate in the making of the film.
And we're going to be looking for storytellers from Mumbai to Madrid,
Kabul to California,
to help us capture really inspirational stories from social revolutionaries from within their own communities.
These are the unsung heroes who are creating a huge paradigm shift toward empathic leadership for our future.
We do know what we should say. We do know what we feel like saying. We do know what we feel like doing. And fear holds us back. We need to do more than talk about it at this point. We need to change the world.
It's a we time. Yes, we can. We are the 99%. It's a we time.
Great.